and sort of begin to question why people think a certain way. And not even, I don't hate people for thinking the way they do, even if they're quite disturbed in their thinking, because I'm naturally inclined to be interested by it. When someone tells me someone did something, I want to know why, because that's the psychologist in me. I wish some of these school shooters, I wish they wouldn't shoot themselves in the fucking head, because it destroys any chance of us understanding why they did what they did. Then all you've got left is, the qualitative stuff, their history, their family history, and that to go by. I would rather look at people and study people, even if they're disturbed uh, individuals, just so you can understand why it is people are like that. And it's a shame, it's a shame that it's done in retrospect, because it would be nice to understand people to the extent where you could prevent them from doing it in the future.
Mm.
Which is why people say, oh, kill him, fucking shoot him. You see someone going on a shooting spree, and the police shoot them and they say, yeah, good, I'm glad. And you think, well, they shot him in the head. We can't examine his brain now. We could have found out what specifically was wrong with him mentally by doing a brain scan, and now we can't, because there's very little of it left. You got people wish harm on other people before they can truly understand how that person came to be. And
They never get to the root of the problem, and it keeps
no,
perpetuating itself. There's the
yeah,
cycle, the hate cycle, continues, and it gets bigger and bigger. And at some point, yes. But keeping with the positive male role models, I mean, do you have any British male heroes, past or present?
only inspirational men, and it's no one that's famous or really been written about in the media. Just and I think it's circumstantial. There's a group of men I used to help within a charity, and I think it says a lot about the human spirit. They were ex-soldiers who came back from Afghanistan, and they'd been in IED attacks and lost their limbs, and it began a new life for them. Uh, and it's a life they probably wouldn't, or they wouldn't have had if they hadn't have suffered the loss of a limb. But they became really inspirational. They were driven to climb mountains and go on expeditions and be the first man to do this or that. And I looked at these men, and it had awakened something in them,
Mm.
where they had to prove to themselves and maybe to the world that they hadn't been beaten, and they're more than just a man who lost a limb. And there's a lot of examples of those men out there. Um, the ones I met were British soldiers.
I think he made a video about one. I think he showed his photograph at the end, him
Yeah,
climbing the top of the mountain.
there are a lot, but I like the mountains, and you like the mountains as well. And when you get into it, you come across these inspirational people who conquered something against insurmountable odds, and you like to think that you've got that spirit in you. And maybe that's why we go out and test ourselves and see how much we can take. But yeah, inspirational people, you meet them, they may be a completely different person in their personal life. I'm very, very careful about who I look up to, and because if you pedestalize another man, if you hold him up so high and give him hero status, you might find out that he doesn't live up to that in other areas of his life, and you can be a bit disappointed.
I always say take role models of men that have passed away, because then their deeds are shut. Their deeds are finished. So now there's no space now for you to be let down. There's no space now for your hero
Yeah.
to be destroyed in your mind. And